Welcome to Talk to MG. This is my show on Actify Press, and we're going to be talking about stuff that's important to us, mostly about stuff that's important to black people, and we're going to do that unapologetically. So let's ride. This is Michael Graham from Actify Press. Second edition of Let's Ride. I'm thinking about putting this behind a paywall at Patreon. Trying to bring some money in. Leave a comment and let me know if that's a good idea. And always remember to share, like, subscribe, cheer, tell a friend, whatever you need to do. Okay, this episode I want to talk about Joe Biden and the black vote. And there's something that a lot of people, especially on the left, likely because that's the circles I run in, don't understand the connection of black people to Joe Biden. And it's one word: Obama. Right? It's Michelle Obama. It's Barack Obama. It's the Obama family. All the love and devotion and admiration that black people still have for the Obama family is undeniable. Right? We can say what we want about Barack as a president, as far as policy is concerned, and the decisions he made as far as black people are concerned. You can say all you want about that, but you have to remember that he was likely the best politician of our lifetimes. Right? The best politician in maybe the last 100 years. As a politician, he was a political juggernaut, and he was completely unflappable. And we can never, ever forget how important that is to the black community. Okay? And we also need to understand that, as they say, older black women are the key to the vote in a lot of spaces. You have to understand how they view Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the man they wanted their sons to become. Do you understand that? He is everything that they wanted their sons to become. Right? And for various reasons, in our community, it's much harder to become someone like Barack Obama for obvious reasons. For young black men to become like Barack Obama, whether that's the upbringing, whether that's the poverty, whether it's the level of education, all these things are harder for us to achieve. We have to remember that Barack Obama traveled in the world of whiteness. He traveled internationally. He traveled in spaces like in Indonesia. In some respects, he traveled in spaces that were raceless. Not saying that Indonesia's racist, but he was not seen as the typical black person. And his family had money. Many people don't know that when his grandparents died, they left him $500,000. Okay, he went to college on as a legacy. His father was a professor. Okay, so and we have to remember these things as we move forward. We can never ever forget them. Right? So everything that Barack Obama is everything that many of these old women wanted their sons to become. And it's hard to shake that. Many of us in the black community have family members where Barack Obama is seen as held up to someone who was just as good as Martin Luther King, or in some ways better, because he was in their lifetime, in their adulthood. They knew Barack Obama. They knew of Barack Obama. And the fact that he was married to a dark-skinned black woman is another thing, is another reason. And people love Michelle as an individual entity as well. Right? The picture of a black family on the White House lawn, knowing that that family was trafficking in those spaces unperturbed, and they were in those spaces that we've always told our children that they could be. We told our children that they could be president one day if they fought hard enough. And Barack Obama is the embodiment of that. Granted, he is not a descendant of slaves, But to many black people, black is black, and black is that black is good enough for me. And for a lot of people it is. Right? I was one of those people that on that night in 2008 when he won the presidency, I cried like a baby. And even though many of us knew that he was I don't know, for lack of a better word, Barack Obama was a Reagan Democrat. Ultimately, he ended up being a Reagan Democrat as far as policy was concerned. But again, policy and politics are not the same thing. They work in tandem, right? But policy and politics are not the same thing. As far as politics, Barack Obama was likely the best politician we have ever seen in the last 100 years. Definitely in my lifetime. All right, it used to be Bill Clinton was probably the best politician we've seen in I don't know how long. All right, but what Barack Obama did far eclipsed what Bill Clinton did, as far as politics is concerned. And that's the front-facing view black people have of Barack Obama. Okay, they don't look at how his policy harmed the black community. All they care about is that black man is there for their sons to look up to and to pattern their lives behind. Okay, and that's all that matters. Now, as far as Joe Biden is concerned, that's the connection. That connection is almost inseverable. Okay, you cannot sever that connection, not easily. Just by pointing out Biden's racist past and his hands on racist policy, all those shitty things that you would easily connect to Joe Biden, okay, and the quote unquote gaffes, right? All that stuff means absolutely nothing. You can pound on the desk, you can do whatever you want, but as far as black people are concerned, Joe Biden is carrying that Obama mantle back into the White House, and that's all they care about. If you don't understand that, you're never going to break that black vote away from Biden in any conceivable way anytime soon. All right? So we've got to keep that in mind as we move forward in the primaries. Now, of course, I'm going to go back to the key to this. As I said, these older black women see Barack Obama as the man they want their sons to be. And Michelle Obama is the woman they want their daughters to be. And again, for various reasons, it is much harder for black people, especially descendants of slaves in this country, to reach those heights. Okay? So, as we move forward, we have to understand that if you're not going to find a way and dedicate yourself or your campaign to find a way to break that black vote away from Joe Biden, you're going to have a problem. You're not going to beat Joe Biden because this command of the black vote is the difference between him and everybody else because of that Obama connection. Now, here's how you beat Joe Biden. Just as these mothers and aunts and grandmothers wish their sons would have been Barack Obama, their grandsons, great-grandsons, and daughters, granddaughters, and great-granddaughters can reach those heights through reparations. And if you lay it out like that, we know that you revere the Obama family, right? And you want nothing but the wonderful things for the Obama family. That's how much of Black America feels about the Obama family. So you tell them, you say, we know you revere the Obama family. But because of the way the country is constructed and going and has black people going in reverse, most black people will never, ever, ever have the opportunity to reach those heights. But there is a way. There is a way for your grandchildren and great-grandchildren to reach those heights and live, even if they don't want to reach those heights, they'll live more stable lives. They'll lead lives that aren't haunted by poverty, that aren't haunted by inflicted poverty inflicted by American policy. Reparations is the answer. Reparations for the descendants of slaves, for the American descendants of slaves, is the answer to making your grandson, helping your grandson to reach the same heights as Barack Obama, helping your granddaughter reach the same heights as Michelle Obama. That is the answer. Until then, you're going to be reaching around trying to find a stick to knock him down without lifting black people up. And that's the key, right? If you're just going to knock him down without a plan for lifting black people up, whatever you do to him is not going to last because they're going to come right back, right? So you're saying he's not good enough, so what are you going to do? That's the obvious question. Well, he's a racist son of a bitch. What are you going to do? What are you going to do for my family? At least I know this guy has a stamp of approval of somebody I love and trust, the Obama family. All right? Again, we're not talking what he actually did for black people, right? We're talking about what he appears to represent for black people. So if you can't find a way to say, I'm going to knock down, I need to sever Joe from that black vote. So I'm going to say all these horrible things about what he said and done. All right? But you got to remember, after he said and did those things, he still got the stamp of approval from Barack Obama. All right? So as far as they're concerned, he's washed clean in the water, as it were. Right? So Barack Obama's stamp of approval washes away all those things. That's the old Joe Biden. Obama blessed him, so he must be good. That's what you're up against. And if you can't come to grips with that as a campaign and as a group, you're not, you can throw all the policy out there you want. Without this black vote, you can't win. Not the primaries. Not in the primaries ever in life. Now, I know a lot of burners, right? I'm a former burner myself. I know a lot of burners think, well, we have a much broader coalition than we see in the polls. Well, you better get your coalition to start voting in these polls, because right now, nobody sees them, right? On a national level, these aggregate polls that have been accurate as fuck for a long time, you better start getting your people to get this mystery base you're talking about, getting them to take some polls. Because all the DNC needs is a space to say, you never really had a chance. Biden's been 9, 10, 15% ahead of you this entire time. And you're telling me, and you're going to say we're cheating? Show me where those points are. Show me where we stole something from you. They'll know they cheated you, right? And if the polls are any indication, they really don't have to cheat you, right? And I'm just keeping it real, as they say. Your path forward has to be, number one, separating Joe Biden from that black vote. Number two, embrace reparations to help you sever that tie. Embracing reparations and really embracing it. And the way you do that is getting people to understand the actual history. Something that I've always talked about was the language that the right has created, and because of the language they created through their networks and through their money and through their power about how we view race in this country, their narrative is dominant. You have to crack that narrative. And all you got to do is tell the truth, right? All you got to do is show the unbroken line of crappy policies that have held black people down from 1619 till now. Well, in this case, 1776 until now. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. Make the connections. Right? There's plenty of stuff out there. There's plenty of information out there. And you could fight this fight and win. But the unwillingness to fight the fight, the willingness to lose to avoid having this fight is the problem. You're willing to miss the nomination because you're scared this is going to harm you in the presidential election. Does that make sense to anybody? All right. Plenty of groups have gone to petition the government for redress for their grievances. Native Americans, Japanese. We've even helped on several occasions help Jewish people get reparations for the Holocaust, for the World War II Holocaust. There are plenty of precedents. And no, we don't need to become a recognized nationality to get reparations. Stop it. Stop it. Don't listen to Jay Morris. Don't listen to T.I. None of that stuff means anything. All right? So, what you need to understand is, if you don't want this to be Joe Biden against Trump, you got to do something. And that do something is reparations. All right? That's Joe Biden. That's my Joe Biden soapbox. Thanks for riding with me. Talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to Talk to MG. You can find my writing at actifypress.com under Michael Graham, and you can track me down on Twitter at MG_returns. Thanks again for listening. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. That's really important for the show to grow. And please remember you can become a patron at patreon.com/actifypress. Again, patreon.com/actifypress.